Next up, we have Skystrike by Hinkik, featured in Geometry Dash is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a Layman-Friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, members get early access to the content. Artists, I want to collaborate with everybody. I can provide any of my musical skills, whether it is guitars, Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old kind of thing. I have a whole spiel for this at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Otherwise, let's get started. Skystrike, let's go. Normal Gamer, welcome today, how you doing? Okay, so we start with, of course, a very straightforward, pretty cool drum beat giving us our rhythm. We have a synth giving us some block chords at the start of every measure, which is called the downbeat, and it's just holding down the chord. And then we have a melody there, which could be our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. It could be the motif. Let's see where this goes. Why do people always put hot anime women in the background for music videos? The answer is in the question. Because it's a hot anime woman. Simple as. There's also a bass with a bass as well. Yes, there is a bass doing a bass line on top of that. Let's see where this goes. Yep, that motif. Yep, there we go. So we bring... Okay, so we had a brief moment of bringing the melody a little bit further to the spotlight. And then we bring... this new version where now we are repeating the motif and changing and going through what is called a chord progression. Camdy, welcome today. How you doing? So a chord progression is just whatever chords you are using in the order that you are using. And welcome back, Leaderballs. How you doing? So, chord progression, of course, this is going to be based in harmony. When you're making music, you have three elements: melody, harmony, and rhythm. Melody being the individual horizontal lines of music, rhythm being the use of time, and harmony being the most complicated of all of them. It's what notes you're using, what scales you get out of the notes, what chords you get out of the scales, what scales you get out of the chords, the relationship between them, the chord progressions that you can get, and the relationship between the sets that you can get. You can just keep adding levels of extrapolation over and over and over again. So a chord progression then is going to be, once you have your scale, or what is called a key signature, which is what your scale is and what chords you can get out of your scale. So for example, let's bring this scale of C major, right? So C, D, E, F, G, A, and B, which a scale, of course, you get out of the chromatic scale. The chromatic scale being all of the notes in all 12 tones of Western music, which is all white and black keys in the keyboard. You grab a formula based on the spaces between each of the half steps or semitones, which is, you know, these are semitones, right? And you grab a formula for these and you can get different types of scales. The scale of C major is the scale of a major scale. You have this, and then out of this, you can get chords. Chords are usually going to be your triads. Triads are 3-note chords, which basically you just skip one note and you get, so C, skip D, get E, skip F, you get G. Then you get your chord of C major, which usually your key signature, on principle, you're going to end up determining with Roman numerals. So number 1 is going to be C. Then if we apply the same principle to D, D, skip E, F, skip G, A, you get your chord of D, which in this case is going to be D minor, which is your 2, your chord number 2 in your progression that you can have. Then the same thing for E. E, we skip F, G, we skip A, B, so E, then you get your 3 minor. Then same thing for F, which gives you the 4 major, G gives you the 5 major, A gives you the 6 minor, B gives you what is called a diminished chord, which is a slightly more unstable chord. And then you go back to C, which is your number 1. And a chord progression is going to be the order in which you play these chords. Any of these. You pick any of these and you play them in a certain order and you get your progression. Usually, the point of a progression is, when it comes to music, when you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You're building tension, you are resolving that tension. That point in between is called a cadence. So, music, a lot of it is going to be building and resolving cadences. Now, when it comes to chords, you are going to have like each of these chords will have a name. However, the two most important are going to be your first chord, which is going to be your tone, your tonic, and tonic, or your root. And then the fifth chord, number 5, which is your dominant. Now, the dominant chord, the purpose of it is to create a cadence so that you can go back to the tonic. In the case of C and G, this is C. Let me bring the keyboard back out. This is C. Then we go to G. And you can feel already that it creates this expectation to go back to C. Now, you can make more complex progressions than that, and as long as you end the chord progression with a dominant, you're most likely going to have a good cadence. There are, of course, exceptions to this. There are a bunch of different things you can do, but in general, the simplest chord progression is going to start with your tonic or your root chord, and then it's going to end with the dominant, and then you just go back to the root. So what we're doing, why am I saying this, right? So when you bring a chord progression, you can do this, and something you can really, really do that is a lot of fun is that you can play what is called an ostinato. Ostinato is when you repeat a phrase over and over and over in your music, despite of what is happening next. So if you're playing a motif and you're just changing the chord progression, you can get a really, really cool sound, which is what is happening over here. So let me bring you an example, right? So let's bring the good old C major. Let's do it a little bit higher, right? So we have the... We're just going to be repeating that over and over, and we're going to be playing through C major. Let's do the easy one. Let's do the 1, 6, 2, 5, which is one of the most popular chord progressions ever. So, I made history? Nice. So, we are going to have this, and we are going to be playing basically. So, we have on the 1, on the 6, 2, so you can see here how the chord progression, it completely changes how the motif feels, even though I am playing the exact same thing over and over. So it really, really changes. Adding a chord progression can really, really change. And this was just taking the simplest motif that I could think of and putting it through one of the most straightforward chord progressions that we have, right? And it sounded lovely. And yeah, we're having something like that happening on this place. So, and valid, yeah, I'm not going to explain that right now because each software has its own use. So yeah, let's see where it goes. Nice. So you can hear those, and off the ramp we go. Off the ramp, of course, being a colloquial term. Oh, come on, wrong button. colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a transition. It can be as short as a couple of beats. It can be as long as an entire section. And the purpose of it is to make your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land, kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do that? Remove the drums, maybe the bass as well, which is what we're doing over here. We're playing now the motif with just the bass. We still have the bass there. Ooh, that was nice. So we drop the beat. We use a little bit of rhythmic displacement. We use the sample. This is very, very common in electronic music. They use an audio sample of something other than your music to prolong, like to push back, dropping your beat a little bit, which creates a little bit of extra tension. Let's see where this goes. Put your stream in current time. What? What? Oh, you're not talking to me. Okay, so yeah, we're now having, of course, this version of the motif playing, which it's pretty much the same. We just changed the rhythm a little bit, and let's see where this goes. Very nice, and we're doing the chord progression. Oh, there you go. And right now, what is really, really dictating the chord progression is the bass right now. It's really, 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 really much... The bass line is usually going to be the lowest note that you're playing. So if we were to be doing the same progression we were doing, you know, the 1, 6, 2, 5 progression, we could have a bass doing that. And we could, even though if it would be just the bass, if we were to still do that same motif, we can really have, even if it's just the bass, we still get that harmony going, which is mostly what is happening over here. Let's see where it goes. Let's see. Oh, nice. Off the ramp again, and... Okay, so we're doing this. Ooh. And we engage in a little bit of sequencing over here. So sequencing being another way that you can develop your material. So sequencing is when you take a musical idea and you repeat it, but you change the starting point of it. So you repeat the same shape, you just start it from a different point. So let's bring back the C major motif, right? And if we were to sequence it, I'm going to repeat that same shape just from a different starting point. And that's it. That's it. We're doing a little bit of sequencing, then we're going back. We're doing some more repetition, having a little bit of variation at the end, and let's see where it goes. Ah, a little bit of off the ramp there, and completely off the ramp. We took pretty much everything out. And we're slowly fading back in everything, and... a false drop. We bring a somewhat... So we bring back the motif, and we're doing now a buildup. So we kind of drop into a buildup, fading everything back up. Creative. It created a deceptive resolution over there. So one of the things you can do, by the way, in a chord progression, you can do a deceptive resolution, which is when you don't resolve your chord progression going straight back to the root. So, you know, instead of going back to the root, you can absolutely change somewhere else. The most common one is going back to this 6, right? So 1, 6, 2, 5, and then you go to the 6. That is a very, very common deceptive resolution. And right now, on principle, we kind of did something like that, where instead of dropping the beat, we kind of drop back into a more build-up. So let's see where it goes. Sequencing there. So we were still repeating the same music. We're just engaging here. And... ooh, and a full dropping of the beat. Nice! A full dropping of the beat. We are engaging now in a more rhythmic section here with the bass. And we have a call and response. Call and response being, of course, a musical conversation. We're having the whoop-whoopness of the dropping of the beat happen, and when it stops, we're having a little bit of the motif playing in response. Call, response, musical conversation. Very, very straightforward in this case. Really, really good way of developing. Still repeating the same material we've been using, but just figuring out new ways of doing it. This is really good. Let's see where it goes. Ooh. All right. We have the drop there. Oh, yes, and the melody here is sidechained. So I got a moment there when we went off the ramp back there to really pay attention to it. So sidechaining is when you interrupt whatever layer you're doing a sidechaining with, usually with your drum. And the way it happens is that you turn the volume down and back up. I've seen two types of sidechaining. One of them is gradual, which is like turning down a volume knob and then back up. And then the like binary type of sidechaining, which is like just off and on. So let's see where it goes. It's a very straightforward rhythm, but the tone and the timbre, the texture is so nice. You don't need that much complicated stuff for it to sound good. And oh my god, this sounds really good. Let's see where it is. There you go, the side chained melody. Now we bring on a variation of the melody. Rhythmic variation, and ooh, that was really good. Bringing back the motif now with the drums. You can tell this is very much the climax of the piece. We're reusing material in as much of a climactic way as possible. We're moving up the octave in which the melody is happening. The drums are very much going all out. It's really good. Let's see where it goes. Welcome back, Hinkik. Side chained, and we resolve it back into just the drums, kind of like going off, like an inverse going off the ramp, and we're slowly fading in, like turning up the volume again. The same thing we've been doing before, and up again. We just let it echo out with the drums. And how are you gonna end this? All right. And I think it's gonna end like... And then it loops. I'm pretty sure it loops right after there, because it ends with the expectation of jumping in somewhere else. So there you go. There you go. I like how throughout the video, the image was slowly panning to the right. So yeah, there you go. That was Skystrike by Hinkik, featured in Geometry Dash, is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this has been the Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here, musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas of 2025, which is not that likely, but still possible. If that happens, I will take a single fanfiction of the choice of the community, and I will fully produce, record, and voice act an audiobook for it. We also have a member who offered to do a Discord Nitro giveaway. We might do other types of giveaways, that kind of stuff. We'll see. If you have any other ideas or you want to contribute, let me know. Let me know. Just reach out, and we'll make as much of it work as possible. And yes, I'll explain afterwards. So yes, this has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no botting, no buying followers, no alt accounts, no rat behaviors like that. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go ahead and then use the hype function on YouTube. I don't know how it works, but we have a group on the Discord that does. Link down below. Go check with them. And yes, artists, Hinkik or any other artist on YouTube, I want to collaborate. If you want any of my musical skills, whether it is my guitars, my Mongolian throat singing, you know, the good old kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, whatever it is, just reach out, let me know, and we'll make it work. So yeah, just do that. And if you're in the audience and you know anybody who could benefit from it, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass anyone. Please do not spam anyone. Keep it cool. Don't be a rat about things. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member or subscriber on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when they get scheduled, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment of this video. It has the instructions on what to do. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you are not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch, both linked down below. So if you live in Fort Dick, and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch. Both are linked down below. And it shows on your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. They get recorded on the main channel, then the recordings go there. Link down below, or just search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And, yeah. There you go. There you go. Skystrike, Hinkik. That was fun. Oh, that was fun stuff. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.